In 1985, after the Soviets invaded, we left Afghanistan in the middle of a hot summer night to save my father's life. We didn't just leave behind a lifetime of history and roots. We left behind our big, beautiful house in the middle of a lavish orchard full of pomegranates, mulberries, and apricots. We escaped to Iran on the backs of donkeys. The 2-hour distance by car took us a few days. Going from having everything to sharing a small home with many strangers who also escaped the war was a shock to my 5-year-old self and my parents. One afternoon, I went to a bazaar with my father. When we passed a produce store, the pile of apricots took me back to our orchard in Herat. I shouted, "Baba, look, they brought our apricots here too." We had never gone to stores to buy fruits. They were always right there for us and our neighbors. I reached out to pick one, but he said, "You can't just take it, John Baba." When the clerk told him the price, he said, "Are apricots really this costly?" He bought some anyways. As we walked home, we saw some kids playing in the alley. My father gave some apricots to each of them. By the time we got home, only a few were left. My father held my disappointed face in his hands, kissed my forehead and said, "We don't have the trees anymore, but we can still share the little that we do have." That was my father, my Baba John, kind and generous. Now, when I take food next door, my son gets annoyed and says, "This is America, Mom. It's not cool to just give food and fruits to neighbors." I hold his face in my hands and say, "But John Madar, sharing is caring." That is the language he speaks. That is the language he understands.